Hey there, just doing a little sample here. We've got a couple pieces of leather, roughly about 7 millimeters in thickness. Not too big a deal. Right now I'm using the TN-1508NH. I'm using some Tex 277, or also called Tex 270 nylon thread with a large needle in it. I think it's a size 180 or 160, obviously for this thread and material. So this machine has a fully rectangular feed mechanism, an extra heavy-duty hook mechanism as well, built-in bobbin winder. Right now you can see it's equipped with an LED light system. I just have a small guide on it, roller guide. It also has what we're used to in the other Titans, the climbing device, which allows me to adjust the climbing mechanism, or as we call it, the alternation mechanism of the walking foot as it goes up and down. Heavy-duty spring system in the reverse mechanism and feed mechanism, so it can handle the heavier feed. So I'll just quickly do some sewing here. And you can take a look. I'll do some 277 and then I'll switch over to something lighter. I don't think I need to change a needle, but I can if I wish, for obvious reasons. But I'll just quickly choose some samples and you can see how it looks. So now I've equipped this machine, obviously, with a 3/4 horsepower servo motor with a needle positioner on it, which allows me to position that needle in up or down position. I also have a pressure release tension mechanism that can allow me to pull this out and see my stitching. Can handle some pretty heavy thicknesses. It's quite a nice little machine for what we're used to in the industry. Nice slow stitching if I want. Yeah, so that's working right nicely. So I'm quickly just going to change out the thread so you can see that very little is needed to be changed. I'm only changing out the thread because people have asked me before, am I stuck with a heavier thread or can I go to a lighter thread? And of course you can go lighter. You're not required to stick with heavy. So this is a Tex 70 bobbin I'm putting in and a Tex 70 top thread as well. So I have a dual tension system here, and we use dual tensions typically only on heavier thread just to give a little bit more. On Tex 70 I'm not going to use the dual tension, just going to use one. There's no requirement on that. After going through that thread, Tex 70 seems so much lighter. And again, I don't think I'm going to change a needle right now. We'll do a quick sample, see how it looks, and if I do need to change it, I can. I have some sample needles with me. Okay, so obviously there's my thread. And now I just have some nice soft leather here I'm going to sew. Quickly sew this together, see how it looks. There we go. So, I mean, other than the fact that the holes look a little bit larger and the fabric looks a little more damaged just because of the larger needle hole, it's stitching quite nicely. Can change that as well. The climbing device, again, just allows for the alternation of that presser foot to change. So you can go higher or lower depending upon the fabric that you're working with. Typically on flat work, you're down around 1 or 2. The reason you don't stay high, obviously, is when you're working with fabric that's just nice and soft and small, you don't want it to beat up the fabric and you don't need a lot of extra heavy slapping of that foot against the material. nice control and slow speeds. Yeah, it seems to work nicely.